It is time for yet another typography t-shirts video. We've done 4 of these. This is the 5th one. You guys keep watching these videos, so I keep having to make them. Keep watching the videos and I will keep making them. If you've already seen this before, you already know how this goes. I'll just scroll through Pinterest, find some references for some typography-based t-shirt designs. We'll throw them in Kittl and we'll recreate them. Not one for one. I always encourage people not to do one for one, but for the purposes of understanding some typography layouts, knowing how fonts work together, and just knowing how to make things look good together, copying is fine. But then once you moving into the realm of wanting to print something yourself or sell it or design for somebody else, I would encourage you to step outside that box and not just steal other people's work. So let's hop into Pinterest. And already right off the bat, we've got one right here that's pretty dope. I'm gonna copy that over into my project and not take the Kittl survey. Size that guy down and back over. I might have to click on it, find some more. Here's one that we actually did in a previous episode. If we click on this, it'll probably give us some other recommendations. This one's pretty good. I'll probably do this, but leave out the illustration in the middle. But I do like the combination of fonts and then this arch text right here. So I'm gonna copy that guy in. Awesome hack, by the way, is you can just copy an image and then paste it into your editor. Saves me a lot of time versus having to like save the image and then go to my downloads and then drag it in or up. It's just, I don't want to do all that. This one's really nice. Let's go ahead and take this one. It's a little bit more simple. So I like to have a nice, mixture between a little bit more complex and then more simple. This one is interesting. You'd have fun with that one. Also pretty simple. I can't remember if I already did this one in another video. I don't think I did. And if I did, you're just gonna learn how to do it twice because that is dope and I would wear that every single day. Oh, she is yelling. Okay, I might need to on one of my shirts here to give it some more direction. Let's click on this one and see what it shows us. Oh, there's another good angle of that one to see a little more head on. I like that. Very, very nice and simple. I did this one in a previous video. Oh, this one's cool. Plop that one in and we just need 2 more. Let's take this one. Why not? I always like to include one that's like mega simple for people that don't want to do something complex, but still want to learn. And let's do this one. Looks like something that would be on Etsy for sure. Okay, so we have all of our references, which this seems to be another trend of this series is I always pick 8 and then like halfway through, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of t-shirts and this takes a lot of time. But I said I was gonna do 8, so I have to do 8. And it would be lame to do 8 on the first 4 go rounds and then make it shorter on the 5th. I'm not gonna do that to you. So we have 8, so we're gonna do 8. So I think we're gonna start with the most simple one, just not starting left to right, because that one is actually pretty complex. That might be this one, and this one might be the most complex ones. So we're gonna start over here, and I'm just gonna change my artboard to the color of the shirt because that'll help me kind of like visualize the design a little bit better, and then when I go to mock it up, it will already be the color of the shirt that I want. The colors of the shirt and the color of the text is just as much part of the design as the actual typography itself. If you put this, a black shirt with blue text, and you're like, oh, I wonder why I don't like it. You liked this because it is the way that it is, and that includes everything about it, which is the color of the shirt, the color of the type. So try to keep those things in mind as well. So we've got 2 very simple sans serif fonts. This looks like a kind of a Helvetica type font. And then I'm not exactly sure what this font is, but we will find something similar to it. It's a little bit more chunky. So I'm gonna start by adding some text and just finding a good, well-rounded sans serif to use for this. Something like Cal Sans actually might work for that more beefy. Epilogue looks nice for that main text because I'm looking for that curve in the R that is similar to that. It's a little taller though. It's not exactly what I want. I think I'm going to stick Familigen Grotesque for this. It's not exactly the same R that I want, but it is close enough. And if we were using text that didn't have an R in it, then it wouldn't even really matter that much. So let's see what our text beginning. Got to size that way down. Drew, come look at how I spelled this.
Beninging.
In the beginning.
In the beninging. In the beninging.
Goodness sakes. We'll make this a medium font weight, and then what's going to give us that same effect as the shirt is really closing that letter spacing, because you can see on this one it's pretty tight. There's not really a lot of space in between the letters. It might be even closer than that. I like that. Pretty nice. Is there 2 spaces? Yes, there is. Caught that. So that is our first line of text, and it looks like we need another one right below it, and the letter spacing is just not quite as scrunched together. So I'm going to center that up, hold Option, click and drag this down. Open up the line spacing a bit. Let's try -20. And then what does this say? Spring, summer, spring, summer. And is there like, and then size that down. That looks about right. So you can look at these things. Okay, the left of the S is hitting where the left of that I is, and this is hitting at the bottom corner of the right side of the N right here. Maybe it needs to be a little smaller, and something like that looks pretty spot on. It may need to be a little. And then we just need to take this down here, and we're going to think ahead. Instead of 2024, we're going to do 2025. Come on, you guys got to live in the future here. And that is somewhere in between those 2 font sizes. Like I said, I do not encourage people to just copy one for one. This is educational. This is for learning. So I'm going to group these together, center that, get that out of the way, and then focus on this top text right here. And I could use something like Roboto. Might look good. It might not be quite the same. Yeah, not the same at all. So let me look for a font. I know that I need to close the line spacing on this, or letter spacing rather, and I'm going to look for a font that looks good with this. Okay, I do like Epilogue. That looks pretty good. The one quirk of that J is that it comes down slightly below the rest. No, this is the font gauntlet. This is the fontlet. Cal Sans. Familiar and Grotesque is just good. Okay, well, at a certain point, you have to decide that you're not going to spend too much time on it. So I am going to go to Epilogue, was the one that I liked the most. And I just need to close the letter spacing, and that looks great. Center that guy up, and the space between this line of text and that line of text looks to be almost double that, and that looks pretty on par here. Again, center this up, and then I'm going to mock this up and throw it below our design here. My personal favorite mock-ups in the t-shirts category are the ones, if you scroll almost all the way down, the ones that are just flowy like this. And this is the back of the t-shirt. You can size that guy up, and I'm going to download this mock-up back to the editor. We'll toss this guy in here, and then we can remove the background from this, and then boom. This is a great way to practice making t-shirts. I've got my reference, and then I've got my design right below it, and then boom, I've got my mock-up all together right in one row. We're already quite a few minutes into this, and this was only 4 lines of text. So this shows you how important it is to the right fonts. Pay attention to the space between your letters, right? So if the reference that you're looking at has really, really tight letter spacing, and you're using a similar font, and you're like, I don't know why I don't like it. Are the letters really far apart, right? So you got to squish those letters together or make them further out depending upon what you're looking at. Let's do this one. We're already kind of in the swing of things. I'm pretty sure that this is Arial, maybe, depending upon that kind of fans out there. I am going to ungroup this and steal this font over here. Get my artboard color going. It'll be a little lighter than that. And then my text color is going to be this nice bold red. What does this say? Tailgate. And then we can change the font. Okay, so Epilogue actually does have a curved R, and that's really, really nice. So let's look for a font like that. It's definitely not Cal Sans. Enter might be a good one. Okay, so I'm just going to decide on Enter for this. Close enough for me. Sometimes you get close enough, right? Doesn't always have to be perfect. It just needs to be relatively close. And so here's another thing, like I'm saying, the reason that if you like this reference, one of the reasons that you like it is the space between the lines. And the space between my lines is significantly more. So we need to close that. So every part of this design contributes to why you like it. So it looks like we've got, I can't tell if that's, I don't think that's slanted. So let's center this, size that up quite a bit. I'm missing a period here. And I might actually change my font because that period in the reference is a square, and I don't quite like this being, there we go. Feel better about that. Let's try, Familiar and Grotesque period is almost like an oval. Yeah, let's go with this. No, let's not go with it. It's interesting how one character of a font will make you want to change it. Just because that period's not a circle in the reference, I don't like. This would be cool for like a stylized, you know, spin-off. You could do tailgate chairman and like a bunch of different styles that cater to different people. Go steal that idea and put it on Etsy and make a bunch of money. Public Sans, saving the day. I like it. Might need to close that line height and I'm going to copy this down. It looks like a little bit more of a wide font. So I'm going to try out Basement Grotesque, and we're gonna size this down, and we need to open back up our letter spacing, and then it says just something like Sybil keeping beers cold. Grills. And music. And I like the spacing of that, but just to keep consistent with our making sure that it gets close to something that we liked before, that might actually be a little bit more better. Center that up. And then it looks like we've got some circle there and then some text to the side. Could just be, this is also title case. It's not all caps, but I like all caps, so I'm just gonna do all caps on mine. So let's left align this, and we'll do tail, and then copy that over and right align this guy. We can just keep that the same. And then I don't super love the full circle. I think it pulls too much weight down to the bottom. And so I'm just gonna do one with an outline of that red color. So I'm gonna get rid of this, add a border, make it our red, and we'll put that guy in the center. Grab these guys and center them up. Make sure this is center. And then I'm just gonna put, it looks to be some more space. I actually don't like the spacing between this line of text and then these three entities on the bottom. That looks awkward to me. I like keeping this spacing the same. I think that feels more balanced. We can maybe bring it down. Something like that looks awesome to me. Center that up and mock it up. I love how that looks already. Put it on Etsy. See, I stray away from being like, oh, we got to put it at the top, because then you have so much weird space down here. So I actually like going about a third of the way down the shirt, and that'll help you fill the space of the shirt where the eye actually goes on the back, and then it's not super awkward. So we're gonna download that. Okay, so I've got my mock-up here. AI background remover for the win, and we can size that up and just put that guy right there, and that is 2 down. Lord, so many more to do. Cool, let's do this one because I think that this one is, I feel like that says man collective. Put something different because I'm not actually sure. So I'm gonna say main, and we need a wide, bold, or extra bold. So it's like wide as in like it's shorter and wider. Basement Grotesque is a good option. It looks to be even wider than that, so we might look at a couple different options. But let's just go ahead and start by closing that letter spacing. You can also do this and just copy your text down and then scroll through your options. And then you can, compare fonts side by side. Hubert Sans was the one that I was looking for. Extra light wide. Hubert Sans would have been great for both this and this. So keep that in mind. Goodness. Great. It's a little wider, which is nice. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So it's slightly shorter. So that's really, really nice. And then for that collective font, I am going to use Instrument for sure. Italic, you already know, and not all caps. And let's see, the letter spacing is pretty tight on that as well. And so the thing that I would look for here is I'm actually going to stray a little bit from the reference because the reference has these being the same line height. So if you do that, that's fine. It carries so much weight on the left side, and then the right side is like, it's like, So I'm going to actually size this up and then have it be about centered. And now it feels more balanced left to right. I think I might actually close the letter spacing on this some more so I can have that little dip from the L follow into the E. Just something to keep in mind. I'm going to take some text, and it just looks like 2 lines pretty tight together. I am not 100% sure that everything that I just typed has no errors. See, line spacing is a little tighter than that, and letter spacing is wider. Not that wide though. So let's try -30, and that looks about right. And then we can just place that right under our text. I'm going to group those and center that. Then I can center this up. Actually, that's a good lesson because this is technically center, but it's not because of the way that the text box is. So I need to right align this and then pull that over. And this needs to be left aligned and pull this over so that selection all together can be center. Now it is center. Now I'm going to group all that, center it up on my artboard here, and we're going to mock it up. And it looks like we're looking for a front. I would still probably put this on the back. I'm just gonna put it on the back. I like stuff on the back. Let's just keep that going. And it was pretty big, something like that. Nice. And we'll toss our reference back in and then get the background removed and move on to the next one. Put that alongside our other mock-ups. And that's 3. I'm gonna skip over to this one right here. I think I have some good fonts that I can use for that. And then it looks like just a little serif font down there, and then a little sans serif wide that's like a little bit more classy. So we'll get our artboard color matched, and then the text looks to be like a brownish. I might darken that a little bit. Depending upon what pixel you catch, it might be a little lighter, a little darker. Just use your eye and try to catch and match the font best you can. Let's do Love Pinion. I'm gonna take a break from using the same text and just do Health Club. Same concept. I'm gonna see what it looks like if I add a slight stroke to this text. If I use this third text shading option and turn down the offset. And see, I like just a tad thicker versus not having this. It's pretty dinky. So if I add this, beef it up a little bit. So this looks like a super generic serif font like a school paper with. Maybe a little bit taller though. You can look at the different parts of specific characters to try to match them up. I actually like instrument serif a lot. And I think I'm just gonna use that font, even though it's not the same. That's pretty close as well, but I think it needs to be a little taller. So I'm gonna go with instrument serif. And very important, make sure that you match all your font colors up. You don't want to have some that are different fonts when they're not supposed to be. And I'm going to do some Kittl related stuff. Let me close that line spacing. That's what's going to make it look super 90s, is taking that serif and closing the line spacing. That's a little hack. Option 8 on your keyboard is the little dot. And then we'll go 1-800-DESIGN. And then we need a little wide serif font down there. I think it's serif. It might be sans serif. Sometimes the problem with finding a wide sans serif font is that they're all pretty thick, and this one seems kind of thinner. Montserrat is really good. EST. Yeah, it's great. Maybe slightly heavier weight, and we'll open up the lines, the letter spacing just a little bit, and get that guy. That's a little close. Back that off. Feel better about that. Center it up and mock it up. Like I said, I like to go kind of a third of the way down the shirt. This does not look appealing to me. Please don't put your design at the very tippy top of the shirt. Just doesn't look great. Put it right there, and then we'll put it alongside our other mock-up. So that's 4 out of 8 shirts. We're gonna move on to this one because I really like this. I mean, part of the design of this shirt is the texture, that like slight waffle cone design of the shirt, and I'm sure that the print has that kind of texture as well. But I really just love the design. So this is gonna definitely have some of that putting a stroke around the text so that it kind of gives it that puffy bleed. You can see how those characters are kind of rounded out. So we have something, we could use Pinion as a default, but let's see what we can do here. I think I'm going to use epilogue for this, maybe. See what we can do. Yeah, I like the height on that. And I am going to change the text of this. I always put random text in. And honestly, you could do that too if you're just wanting to kind of go through and make some designs for yourself, like some templates for yourself. You could just put random text in there and then replace it. Well, I might put the regular text in here. But that is a good tip. If you know that you have a design and you want to just go ahead and see what it looks like, but you don't know what text to use, just put some random text in there. It's not really gonna matter that much. And we need to close this line height, something like that. So here's the secret right here. Text shading, block shadow, make sure it's the same color. Got a little tough because I have multiple different cream colors, but you can use the eyedropper. Offset, and when I turn that up, it's gonna round those corners. So you can see the difference here, and it's starting to get rounded. And what I also like is you start to see some of those letters, I could probably bump this up even more, start to bleed into each other, right? So that Y is catching that T, and the H is almost hitting the Y there, and it just makes it feel like real and more raw, which is great. Might open that line spacing just a tad. Let's try 5, and I'm gonna grab this and size it. Hit it with a little presents. It's gonna keep that shading effect since I copied that text block. That way I don't have to keep adding it to every single one. Let's try Pinion. Let's try Pinion with this. Pinion, And by default, that's going to be all caps. Let's see, what is it? Sonic Sound, I think. So different look because of the S, but same feel. And make sure you catch your tracking, your letter spacing when you switch to the script fonts, because the ligatures on some of the letters, they connect to the next. And it looks like that's slightly smaller maybe. What does it say? At Los Angeles. Usually I don't like having lines so small, but that one looks cool. Did I spell that right? No, of course I didn't. Center. Somehow I pulled all my text to the side when I selected it. And we want to close that spacing, make everything nice and tidy, just like our reference. Echo part. And it looks like that is almost the same width as the Sonic Sound part, but this one's a little bit wider, so I might do, yeah, that's looking good. 12 a.m. 12 a.m. Goodness sakes. I'm in bed, so it's safe to say that I will not be going to the 12. And then what the cool thing they've done here is they've taken the script and they've mixed some fonts together here, right? So the AM of this line is in the script while the time regular. And so we're going to take this, and they've kind of centered it based off of the two lines. RogueRhythm.com for Kittl. It's the same thing. And boom, that is a super full t-shirt design. So we're going to mock this up as well. I really, really like that one. I would wear that one right now. I might actually use this for something like this template. It's so funny because I have a clothing brand of my own that I haven't been able to work on very, very much lately because I'm literally getting married on Friday. I do these typography t-shirts videos and like literally will write down the ones that were my favorite, and I plan to come back and use them for my own. That doesn't mean that you can't do the same thing, but yeah, it's just I find I like all of them. I love type and I love t-shirt. Get our little background remover and add to our little mock-up collection down here. It's just nice. So if you have like a big Kittl project with a bunch of artboards open and you want to see your mock-ups there with it, I find it really, really helpful to see the design and then the practical actual application right there. Okay, next, almost done. Tracking with me. All right, that needs to be a little darker, something like that. And let's see what we can do matching this font. I mean, you can upload your own fonts as well. So if you wanted to search what this font is and find something and upload it, you can. Here, you can upload your own. So serif, it's a very interesting W. It is very similar to instrument serif. So we might just go with that. And it looks like it's offset, kind of. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to make this 2 lines. Solve that. And I'll go ahead and kind of close this some. Text shading, third option, same deal. You guys already know. Offset's at 0. Turn that outline up. Close that letter spacing. That's the name of the game. You do that, you're going to be all right. So it looks like it's kind of offset like that. And we've got like 3 little text boxes down here. So I'm going to gotta go down, change the text shading option as well. It's just how it is. And then open your mind a bit. I'm just doing random free. Let's see. So those are way far apart. So we're gonna widen those up, maybe even more so. And what I can do is I can tidy those and then center align them. And I'm also going to group our title here. And I like how this sits right here. It's not exactly like that, but that doesn't matter. So I'm gonna go with this. And then it looks like it might be a slight. And we're gonna mock it up. I'll place this guy on the back. I know the reference was a front, but we're just gonna do back designs. 2 more, we're almost there. Background remover, you know the deal. Okay, 2 more, we got this. I'm gonna save that one for last. That's the ticket, that's the token child. Let's see, Heartbreak Club, that's sad. Told you we have like 7 different off-white colors going on. Text. And so let's just analyze what's going on here. We've got a very condensed or tall, almost the same thing. Serif, very classic, very 90s looking. This line, that line, and this arch look to all be the same. And it's just a more traditional serif font. And then we've got like a little line signature script. Shouldn't be too difficult to figure out. And we've got all caps. And let's grab that red color and start looking for a nice font. That one's not bad, it's just not thin enough. Also good. Englishtown is a great one. I think that's going to be the backup if we can't find something closer. It's looking like Englishtown is going to be our guy. Search that. Spacing looks about normal. And then I'm going to go ahead and search for that script font there. And it always helps me when I'm looking for a font that I want to be similar to have the correct, like the word that I'm trying to match. If I just type out the word like club with a capital C, make matching that script font a lot easier. That one's close, but I'm looking for a pretty just kitschy, uniform signature script. That is really, really cool. I might actually use that instead. There we go. That's gonna be it right there. That's the one. And it's got like a little bit of character to it because of this who's a what's it is. Now what I'm looking for here, and it looks like it's on an angle. So we're gonna angle that. And what I'm looking for is I'm gonna size this and position this to where I don't see any awkward gaps. So like for example, if I go right here, this is weird. That's weird right there. The bottom part of the R is there. And so that's really what's gonna set your designs apart from the rest and make them look more professional, is that you can layer your text and you're not leaving any weird gaps where lines of text are touching each other, just barely, not enough. So I think something like this is really nice, very clearly readable. Now we're gonna look for that other font. I'm not gonna worry about that little illustration because we're just worried about typography in this video. The one and only, and or ampersand. Those details matter, you know? Just a classic, run-of-the-mill serif font. That's a nice one. I might go with Butler. I think it's nice. Or Cardo. Cardo is pretty, it's just mid. Like it's a mid font, and that's kind of like what we're looking for. And transformation, we're gonna put this on a circle and just stretch this out. So easy. And establish 1870. So we can copy this down and just remove that transformation. EST, and I'm gonna spam the space bar. And then 1870. It is the same size, so that's good right there. And then we have one down here. Get our text down here. And I might put this as italic. And those might be italic as well. I wonder what that looks like. I think that fits the vibe a little closer. I'm gonna grab that, center that up, and mock it up. Cool, like I said before, third of the way down the back, make sure it's big enough. Download mockup. We are almost done. Amazing. And I'm gonna try to fly through this because I really have to use the bathroom. I do.
What's your favorite kind?
I really have to do it. I can tell already by looking at this that this is Sloop script, which I have and have uploaded. You can buy it and upload it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this script going because we don't have it available as a font. But like I said, you can upload whatever fonts you want. So if you want to go buy Sloop Script Pro and upload it, feel free to. So we've got our main text here, always and forever. And I know that this is Sloop because I did all of the designing for our wedding, and this Sloop is the main font for like everything. So I know 100% that's what it is. You can tell that's what it is. Let's see. Got a little bit of a serif font going on here. Let's see. And it's italic. Serif, regular. Let's copy our text, para. And it looks like it's got some custom lettering there. It might not be an H. Para. It's a shame. That's actually pretty close. It just needs to be italic. Serif. See if we can find one that's... Actually, I like this so much and it's not italic that I don't even care. So size that down. It looks like we need 4 stars. Love stars. They just make any t-shirt design look really expensive. Do this right here and then group these guys. Size. The text is in front and then the stars we can make kind of like gold color. And then it looks like we've just got some random text down here. So I'm just gonna pull this text over. I'm gonna duplicate this always. And it looks like the letter spacing needs to be opened up quite a bit. And we'll put that right there in the middle. And then doesn't mean anything but here, so I can finish video because really use the, and I'm gonna make that a tad smaller. I think it's the same as that in size, but I'm doing what looks good to the eye, and I think that's good. Might size this up and mock it up. Looks amazing. Back to the editor, AI background remover. Last one, size this up, and all 8 designs, knocked them out. And let me know what you think. One of these, pick 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pick 2. Tell me your favorite 2 designs out of these, and tell me in the comments which 2 of these designs are your favorite. Which 2 of these would you wear any day of the week? Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, like I said before, I really don't condone like one-to-one copying. This is for educational purposes. This is how I learned how to design. I would go on Pinterest, I would find designs, and I would recreate them. And that would help teach me why the good things are good. Why does this look good with that? And it would help me be a better designer. So I encourage you to do the same thing. You could go find all of these pictures and recreate these alongside the video, and it'll help you out a ton. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. If you're going down to drop a comment, you might as well subscribe and hit the like button and do us a favor. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.